Hey everyone, this is Ms. Hoffman. Today we're going to be creating two partial drawings, partial collages that have 3D effects on them. And the first one we're going to be creating is this collage of the umbrella that has a 3D effect, dripping and splashing in the rain. And the second one we're going to create is this vase of flowers that the vase kind of has a 3D effect sticking out. Now, both of these pictures go with the free Scholastic Stories of the Day. This one right here goes with the preschool through kindergarten free stories for Scholastic a Day. Remember, you can log on to Scholastic and you can do the username learning20 with a capital L and the password Clifford with a capital C. And today's free stories for preschool through kindergarten are Planting a Rainbow is their fiction story, and It Could Still Be a Flower is their nonfiction story, learning about nature and flowers. So that's why I have chosen this one for today for kindergarten and preschool. But of course that project can be done all the way through 5th grade because it's fun. And this one especially can be done all the way through 5th grade just because it has such a cool effect to it. And there are so many different possibilities that you can make this colorful. You can make my older kids, you can make a Zentangle on the umbrella and really fill it in with those cool tight designs. You can make it colorful and color in the background. I just kind of kept it simple. But with this one, the 3D effect is on the umbrella. And for 1st through 2nd grade on Scholastic, their fiction story today is Come On Rain. And I listened to that one with my girls, and that story would be appropriate all the way up through 5th grade. It was a really good story. And the nonfiction is Rainy Weather Days, learning about weather. So these are the two projects we're going to do today. We're going to start with the umbrella. To do the umbrella, and again, I hope you can see everything. I have a struggling time to get everything in the scope of this lens. But to start with an umbrella, you just start with a piece of paper, and then you're going to draw a curved line in the corner of the paper. Like that. Then you're going to turn it, and you can decorate this any way you want. This is a good time to practice your patterns if you're some of my younger kids. If you're some of my older kids, this is a good time to practice a Zentangle. Now remember what a Zentangle is it's just an unplanned, fun pattern that you fill in completely. So it's just lines and shapes and colors and patterns. And so it's just a plan, just like if I sit down with a piece of paper, unplanned thing, if I sit down with a piece of paper and I'm doodling, and I know we think that word's funny, but I'm on this piece of paper and I'm just doodling, and I fill in that whole section with just unplanned lines and designs. It's not a set pattern. There can be set patterns within a Zentangle, like this, but the whole thing is not a pattern. It's just fun designs and patterns and shapes and lines that we fill in a whole section. And you see those popular, lots of Zentangles filled in the, we call them fancy coloring books that they sell at the stores now. Or you can just create a pattern. So I can do a pattern here and maybe do a straight line, a squiggly line, a dash line, a straight line, a squiggly line, a dash line, and I would keep that going until I fill in my whole thing. Of course, you can color in your umbrella shape if you want to. I just kept mine black and white. I have one that's finished over here. Now we want to turn this into a 3D effect. Okay, so I just did a pattern here. We want to give this a 3D effect. Now, if you don't remember what 3D means, what 3D means is you can measure this 3 different ways. So here, my apple is just 2-dimensional. I can only measure the length of this. So if I got out my ruler, which I'm not sure I have with me, if I got out my ruler, I can measure the length of this and be able to tell you how many inches or how many centimeters the length of this is. I can measure the widest width of this and the skinniest width. I can measure the width of this. I can measure this 1, 2 ways. That's it, because it's a flat piece of paper. You can see how thin this paper is. You can measure this 2 ways. Our drawings are typically 2-dimensional, unless we're going to add a 3D effect to it like we are today. Now, when I'm dealing with 3D, so this real apple here, not just a drawing, I can measure it the length, I can measure the width, but then there's a 3rd dimension from front to back. I can measure the depth. So I can measure this 1, 2, 3 ways. So it's 3D. And so we're going to add a 3D quality to our paper. It's going to make it look like it's popping off, give it a cool effect. Now, to make this into the umbrella, we're going to fold it like a fan. If you have never folded a piece of paper like a fan, you can ask your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or anybody at home to help. But how you do this is you take it and you're going to fold it in a little bit. Then you're going to flip it over and fold it back. So it's back and forth, and it's called an accordion fold. So I'm going to flip it over and fold it, flip it over and fold it, flip it over and fold it. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Flip it over and fold it, and I'm going to keep doing that until my entire umbrella is folded. All right, and that is an accordion fold. Now, when I got done with that, what I did is I took glue and glued it here. I took glue and glued it here, and then I have this cool umbrella. Now, next, what you're going to do is you are going to draw, let me get all my supplies in order here. You are going to draw a umbrella handle. Let me go ahead and get a clean piece of paper. I'll go ahead and glue this one down that we just made so that you can see what I'm doing. Mine's a little crooked because I was folding it. A little crooked, but that's okay. I'm going to glue it here and here. And stick it down. Maybe fold yours a little bit better than Miss Hoffman folded hers. And then it's a little crooked, but that's okay. Things don't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to draw my umbrella handle. To draw my umbrella handle, if I can get it to stick, I'm going to draw it right out the top. So I'm going to turn this over so you can see what I'm doing. Right out the top, I'm going to draw a line. Kind of get in there a little bit. I'm going to put more glue on that in a second because it's being difficult. And then I'm going to bring it around like a candy cane. Bring it around and down. And then I can color. I'm actually going to scoot that back so I can color it a little bit. I'm going to color that in. I can put a pattern on my handle if I want to. And then my umbrella would be stuck right there. Now to do the water splash at the bottom, what you do is you just draw a ring, another ring, another ring, making it look like it's splashing. And I filled in the whole bottom of my paper with these rings, and I did it, if you can see, with blues and blacks just to kind of give it an extra little pop of color. Of course, if you wanted to color your umbrella before you stuck it down with all different types of rainbow colors, you can. You can color in the rainbow with hot colors and make the background with cool colors to make a cool contrast. So our hot warm colors would be reds, oranges, and yellows, the first 3 colors in the rainbow. And our background you could do with cool colors, which would be blues, greens, or purples. I just kept it black and white with a little bit of pop of blue. You see those raindrops that are splashing off the puddle? To do that, what I did is I did a little drop and just do splash, 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 splash. Just give it a cool little effect. Then to do the clouds, I just did fluffy, 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 kind of like U-shapes. To do that gray effect in the cloud, now you can easily get a crayon and just lightly do that gray effect with the crayon, and that would be perfectly fine. But how I did that was I took a gray marker and I turned it on its side, so you can see right here on its side, and I just really lightly drug it across barely touching the paper, and it gives it just a light gray effect. Now, if I'm not careful, it's going to make stripes, so this might be easier to do with a crayon, okay? To do raindrops, I did them with black and blue, but to do raindrops, I start with a little point. I'm going to draw this one way too big just so you can see what I'm doing. But I start with a point, I curve down, give it a big bottom, kind of like a big bowl at the bottom, so you're eating cereal out of this bowl, but then bring it up and connect it at a point at the top. So I'm going to do that in point, curve, round bottom, point at the top. Now, when you're all done with this one, this is what it's going to look like, and you'll need to use more glue than Miss Hoffman did on the sample. You can see with plenty of glue it's not going to fall off. And so I have my rainy day to go with my rainy day stories for 1st through 2nd grade. But again, this project would be fun for anyone. My older kids practice your Zentangles and practice your contrast between your cool and warm colors. But these are fun. All right, for my preschool through kindergarten friends who are learning about flowers and nature today, I came up with this. So how we do this is we start off, got a whole pile of supplies over here. We start off with a piece of paper, and I'm gonna cut this into a strip. And I would say that's about 3 inches thick for parents that are helping cut. Okay, just a strip of paper. Then our friends can decorate this any way you want. You can see here I did a pattern, and I did a squiggle line, a dash line, and polka dots. A squiggle line, a dash line, and polka dots. They could color their vase like a rainbow. Being St. Patrick's Day, they could put a pot of gold on their vase. All right, but I'm just gonna do some lines just to save some time here for our demonstration. So let's pretend this is all colored in, all fancy, all decorated. Then you're gonna take your vase, you're gonna fold over a tab on the back, fold over a tab, and so now it looks like this. I'm gonna get a piece of paper. Hopefully I can use more glue this time so it doesn't keep popping off. I'm gonna get my glue stick, and I'm gonna put a lot of glue on there so it doesn't pop off this time. And a lot of glue on there. Okay, this is not the time to be conservative with 1 dot of glue. There are some times where we need to do that. Not today. All right, I'm going to leave a bit of room for a table at the bottom of there so it doesn't look like my vase is floating in midair. And I'm going to stick it down. Hold on. I'm gonna stick it down and then rub my finger on it like that. I'm gonna pull this one around, then I'll loop it around, make a loop, stick that one down, and I'm gonna press it. I squished mine a little bit, so let me pull it back out. So now I have a 3D vase. And of course, this would be also fun if my friends practice their warm, cool colors on this. Maybe they colored their vase with really fun cool colors and warm colors, maybe cool colors on one half, warm colors on the other. Or maybe they can practice rainbow order and do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple stripes. But any way you want to decorate your vase is fine. Now to do wood grain, I'm going to turn this to the side so you can maybe see what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing my table underneath my vase. Okay. Now to do wood grain, I'm going to keep this simple. You can make it super fancy with lots of lines. But I'm just going to do a curved line like this, like a snail's back. Line, 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 lines. So curved line, lines around. Curved swirly line, like a spiral, like a snail's back, and lines. Spiral line like a snail's back, lines, lines around. Spiral line like a snail's back, lines, lines around. Then you can take a brown crayon and you can color that in really lightly so it looks like wood grain. I'm going to do that quickly. Alright, so now we have our wood grain table with our vase setting on top. Now I'm going to turn this upside down so you can see what I'm doing from the camera. Now I'm going to, and you don't have to obviously draw this upside down at home, but that way you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to make some stems from the flower, come up because we know that water has to travel up the stem to the flower. So I'm going to draw some stems. Just going to do a few. You can do as many as you want. All right, if I want to, I can make some leaves. Loop, loop, color in. Loop, loop, color in. Now, to draw the flowers, I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see what I'm doing. You can draw any type of flower you want. One type of flower that's really easy to do is a daisy. You can do a brown circle or a white circle. And then you're going to do loops. Now I'm going to do this with a black instead of just a yellow so you can see what I'm doing, because with the yellow it might be hard to see. Loop, loop, like tall skinny rainbow arches. Loop, 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 and then I would color that in yellow. Another one that would be easy to do is a daisy. There's a couple different ways to do a daisy. You can go letter U with a zigzag top, or you could do letter U, bring this edge down, bring this edge down, and connect. But you don't have to draw flowers on regular paper if you don't want to. You could take tissue paper. All the tissue paper I have at home is white, but this is the type of paper that you put on top of a present when you get a present, and it's the thin crackly paper. But what you can do is you can take this and you can crinkle it up. You can do a dot of glue, and we've done this technique in class before. Dot of glue and stick it down, and then crinkle it up. If you have any colorful tissue paper somewhere around the house, dot of glue, stick it down, and maybe one more, crinkle it up, dot of glue, stick it down, makes it look like a pretty carnation all fluffy on there. Or you could also take some colorful paper, excuse me if I'm shaking the table, and you can cut out flower shapes and glue those down instead of just drawing them. So when you're done, you end up with a fun, colorful flower vase, and that very much goes with the story that the kindergarten through, or preschool through kindergarten can get for free on Scholastic, which is called Planting a Rainbow. But those are accessible to anyone. It doesn't just have to be preschool through kindergarten friends. So today we have our rain artwork to go with the rain and weather stories, and our flower artwork to go with the nature and flower stories. Thanks, friends. Please share with us if you make any of these. We would love to see them. Bye, miss you.